exercise. It'll be fun.
Yeah. We'll just wait for some peeps to come on, enjoy the vibes.
Yeah, I meant to send myself the links, but I could pull that up as well.
Oh, no worries. I have everything here as well in case we get stuck. Haven't journaled in a few days, so this will actually be great for me as well.
To hear off your game.
I know. I'm like so busy putting things together for other people, then I fall off on my own stuff, but it's
You
okay.
need to put your oxygen mask on your own face first before helping others.
This is very true. This is very true.
So
Well, I
says the
see
person
some.
is totally off his game this week because of being down visiting my mom. So
Oh, well, I hope she's recovering well.
she's doing better, much better. Yeah, thank you.
Good. I see some folks are joining, so we might as well get started. I am joined by the Brad Yates, tapping extraordinaire, just good vibe guy. What else can we say about you, Brad?
Well, hopefully only nice things, but
Of course. Only great things, but I've shared with you how much tapping and your work has positively impacted my life, like really being able to reprogram using so many of your videos. You're the only person really who, and I'm sure there are a lot of EFT professionals out there, so no shade to them, but my angel reader recommended your work to me years ago, and it has been just had a positive effect on me. So thank you so much for joining me. This is really surreal to have you here at the Unwritten Club.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy that my videos were suggested to you. And I said, there's a lot of us out here doing this work. A lot of us with different videos, and different people's styles vibe with different people. And that's the thing, is finding that person. It's like, oh yeah, because I have plenty of people who said, I tried tapping for a long time, and it wasn't until I started watching your videos, it's like, oh, now I'm getting something. And to be honest, there are people, it's like, Brad's videos don't work for me. I prefer somebody else. And it's like music. You have your absolute favorite musician, and they can do no wrong, and you love every song they have, and someone else is like, meh.
Very, very true. But for those who are joining us tonight and have not heard of tapping, have no idea what EFT is,
what are they talking about?
What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so tapping, also known as EFT, which is short for emotional freedom techniques, is a process of literally tapping with our fingertips on points primarily around the face and torso. And I know for those of you who are new to tapping, it's like, what on earth? Tahir has gone off the deep end now, bringing in weirdos. But there's a very good reason why we do this. So it's based on acupuncture. So for thousands of years in Chinese medicine, they have said there's a flow of energy through the body along these pathways that are called meridians. And when this energy is flowing naturally, we experience our natural state of health and well-being, physically and emotionally. When this energy gets stuck, then we don't feel so good, and we don't think as clearly, we don't make the best choices, and there's all kinds of unfortunate consequences. So in traditional Chinese medicine, the doctor would stick needles in these key points to stimulate that healthy flow of energy, and we're just stimulating those points by tapping them. And there's a growing body of scientific research validating this primarily as a stress relief technique. So while it's originally based on acupuncture, there's all this evidence showing how the tapping sends a calming signal to the brain, and it clears out that stress that can come up uh, in any situation that's unfamiliar, any situation that we perceive as threatening, and our brain perceives any unfamiliar situation as somewhat threatening, even if logically we might say this is totally benign. Part of this is going, this is unfamiliar. I'm not comfortable with this, and I want to run away. And then we fall into habitual thinking and old patterns. And so that's one of the interesting things about journaling is, the idea is to, when I'm journaling, I try to remind myself, and I'll be writing this out, pen on page, hand across the paper, and just keep moving. Don't stop and think about, well, what do I want to say? It's like, no, keep it. Just what I learned from doing morning pages from the Artist's Way.
Yeah.
And so trying to get past that part of the mind that says, well, let me stop and let me then, what's familiar, what's comfortable, and it really blocks the flow. And but we do this in our day-to-day lives in terms of, living a life of purpose, living a life of joy. We have ideas of what would be an awesome thing to do, and part of us goes, yeah, that's different than what I did yesterday. And even if my life is crap, it's my crap. I know how I dealt with it yesterday. I know I can deal with that. Something new, I can't do that. And so the tapping helps us break down that stress such that we say, actually, you know what? I could handle this. It is okay. I deserve better than this. There's nothing that's too good for me. And then we have a much greater freedom to think different things and then take different actions and get better results.
We get out of that trap of familiarity and staying within our comfort zone. I love that. And it's definitely, like you said, it's something that I love that you're a journaler too. So, I'm a tapper, you're a journaler, we understand each other. But yeah, these two practices really do work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Tapping, and I just learned so much about it. I had no idea that I understood that the scientific benefits, but actually being taken from acupuncture is really awesome. And using these different pressure points, it's like there's a metaphysical change happening just from this one practice, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's metaphysical and at the same time just biological. We, in the last decade or so, they've been finding scientific evidence. So, the acupuncture system has been used for thousands of years. And people said, well, okay, we find benefits from it, but, we can't see these meridians, so they may just be imaginary things. Like, no, now we have research showing that there's a thing called the premovascular system that actually these tiny pathways in the collagen in the fascia in our skin that match up with the acupuncture lines that have been used for thousands of years. And the points that we're tapping on have lower electrical resistance, higher electrical conductivity. So they're not just random points like, oh, okay, we'll just sort of tap here and say that. No. You can take a scientific instrument like a galvanometer and measure these points, and there is a difference. So, for those people out there who say, I'm not interested in this woo-woo, it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not woo-woo. It's just how our body works. And it's just, a way of using our body for our benefit to clear out that stress that so often limits what's possible for us.
Yeah. I find that a lot of people would say that about the planets and astrology as well. But if the weather can affect us, our moods and how we feel, then why wouldn't the planets and their placement? So this is like a similar thing, that the deeper
everything is energy.
Exactly.
It's all connected. We know that the moon affects tides. So planetary celestial bodies affect water. What are we mostly made up of?
Water. Yeah.
So
exactly.
there are scientific things to suggest, okay, there's more to this than it's just some airy fairy idea that someone came up with. It's like, well, no, there are scientific reasons why there is validity here.
I'm sure we're breaking brains, but how did you come to practice EFT in your own life, especially when it comes to discovering or unlocking your deeper purpose?
Yeah. I came to it. I had been an actor and had traveled the world doing theater, went to Hollywood to be a movie star, as one does. And while I was there, I met a woman, fell in love, and got married. And when our first child was on the way, I thought, I might need a backup career to support this family. I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV on Days of Our Lives, but not enough to support a family. So I saw an ad for hypnotherapy school. And I'd always been fascinated by the power of the mind. And I thought that would be a really interesting side gig. Also not a, dependable paycheck from someone, but so I went through this training, got certified, started building a small practice. And then a couple years later, when our second child was on the way, I realized that as much as I loved acting, doing personal development work was my calling. It's like, this is my purpose. This is what I'm here for. And at that time, we left Los Angeles to move our kids closer to their grandparents. And through some other hypnotherapists, I heard about this energy psychology conference that was taking place. And this guy was doing this tapping thing. And, so I know for anyone who this is their first introduction, it looks really strange. Part of my journey as an actor is I went to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College. So this was not the strangest thing I'd ever done.
Yeah.
So I might have been in a position to be a little more open-minded than some people might find themselves. So I went and learned this, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting. There's some things that we did, like we tapped on chocolate cravings, and I went from being a chocoholic to not being able to eat chocolate for 2 years.
Wow.
I recovered, fortunately, but but I thought, wow, this is fascinating. So little by little, I started introducing it into my hypnotherapy sessions, and then little by little, it became my main modality. I still do guided imagery as part of my work, but primarily it's the tapping, because I just find it so It's so empowering for the client to literally have the power in their own fingertips.
Yes.
And be able to learn how to do that anywhere.
Yeah, that is part of why I wanted to co-create today's session with you specifically, also on the first day of Mental Health Awareness Month, because I think a lot of us kind of view mental health and healing as something that we have to look outside of ourselves for. But the beauty of EFT and of journaling is that they're both really accessible practices that you don't necessarily need to be taught. You can find guides and frameworks, but you don't need to go see someone for. It's not like therapy where there's someone who you do need to pay to guide you through that. It's a healing modality that is very accessible. So
both of these, journaling and tapping, and pardon the pun, but are both ways of tapping into our inner wisdom.
Yes.
And that inner wisdom is there. Not to say, in terms of mental health, there are certain things where seeking out professional help is a really good idea.
Absolutely.
I have, I think, over 1,500 videos on YouTube that cover a wide range of issues. But if you are struggling with, some strong mental health issues, please don't rely on YouTube videos. Please seek professional and appropriate help. I'm very flattered whenever I hear from therapists who say, I tell people to go watch your videos as homework in between sessions.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's
it's
very
a compliment to the work, but it's not, as you say, and I say it in my sessions all of the time, this is not a replacement for therapy or medical advice, but it can really strengthen the work that is being done in therapy.
Yes, complementary therapy as opposed to alternative therapy.
Yes. So, all of that being said, it feels like it's time for us to get into our first tap, if you wouldn't mind leading us. So we
Absolutely.
can really start to connect with our deeper purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So just what's kind of mine, just in terms of a prep for journaling, is there is a part of us that is that might be afraid of what we might find out. It's like if
Yes.
I really just allow myself to just go train of thought and brain dump and just allow things to flow through me, I'm afraid of what might be there, and so I might stop myself.
Mm.
And so real quick, for anyone who's new to EFT, what we're going to do is we're going to take the fingertips of our index and middle finger, and we'll start by tapping on the side of the hand. And what we do with EFT is we look at whatever is bothering us. So if we're aware of something, say, I feel really stressed, or I feel really angry, I feel really scared, we notice what we're feeling, and we rate that on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being totally freaking out, 0 being I'm totally chill. And it's helpful to also recognize where it is in our body. So, I'm feeling it as a tension in my shoulders or a knot in my stomach. So we know what we're addressing. And we tap, and we start off by saying, even though I have this issue, even though I feel stressed, even though I'm nervous about this report that I have to give at work tomorrow, even though I'm really angry at Bob, whatever the issue is, we acknowledge that. And we say 3 times, even though I have this issue, I choose to love and accept myself. And it's just kind of creating an opening for us to be able to do the work. Then we'll go through these points. So we start with the eyebrow point. So right at the beginning of your eyebrow on either side. And we would repeat the phrase, this stress, this fear, this anger, whatever it might be. You're back.
Sorry,
Even though Tahira disappeared, I choose to deeply and completely.
Yes, please continue to guide us.
I think we're still live, so I'll just keep going.
Yes.
So we start with the eyebrow point, and generally tap these points between 5 and 10 times, but it depends on what we're saying. We might tap longer, so you don't have to keep count 1, 2, 3. And then start with that point. Then we go to the side of the eye, and again repeat this issue, this fear, this anger at Bob. Right under your eye, right under your nose. Each time repeating the phrase, right under your lower lip. Right here where your collarbones just about come together, and you can make a fist and tap that area. The next point is about 4 inches below your armpit, and you can use all of your fingertips and tap that area there. And finally, the top of the head. So just tapping around in circles around the crown of your head. And then we take a deep breath. And I check in again on how scared do I feel? How angry am I still feeling towards Bob? And if it was an 8 before, it may be down. It sometimes goes to a 0 like that. It doesn't usually happen that fast, but it can. It does happen. It might come down to a 7.75. And we might say, that's not very much. But if you've been at an 8 for a while, a 7.75 is going to be some relief on your system, because stress takes a toll on our immune system, our digestion, our mental well-being, all kinds of things. So any improvement that we get. And there are the rare cases where we might be tapping on and say, well, I was at an 8 before, now I'm at an 8.5. And it's not that the tapping has made it worse. It's just that we're now paying more attention to what's going on. It's like I guess I'm kind of angry at Bob. But now I've been tapping, and it's like, okay, now I'm really aware at how upset I am at whatever Bob did. And the tapping might have brought it down, because if I was really honest with myself, it was probably at a 9 or a 10 before. And now I'm down to an 8.5. But part of me feels like it's higher than what I thought it was. So just being aware of that and continuing the tapping as it comes down. If you have a really extreme emotion, that's when it's best to contact a professional, either a certified practitioner or some other counselor. In general, it's a very gentle, very, very pain-free process for the most part. So it's a very safe thing. For anyone who's dealing with strong mental health issues, I'm going to say maybe you want to wait and ask your counselor whether it's safe for you to tap. But in general, it's a very, very safe process. So I like to describe the basic version of EFT that, even though I have this issue, I love and accept myself, this issue, this issue, this issue. That's EFT in a nutshell. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play with that, and we're going to do, I just kind of allow myself to download, just like journaling, allowing it to just flow through me while I'm doing the tapping and exploring what else might be going on. Why might I be feeling this resistance, this fear, whatever it might be, to try to clear it. But if I do it that way and it's someone's first time doing EFT, they think, oh, this is really complicated. You have to come up with all the words. I don't know how to do that. It's like, don't even worry about that. You don't have to do that. You can tap silently. And just the process of tapping is sending calming signals to your brain. So I recommend tapping on a daily basis. It's energy hygiene. You have physical hygiene, like brushing your teeth, taking a shower. Generally, we do it before we need it. We don't usually wait until people are holding their nose around us and go, I haven't taken a shower in a week. I should probably do that. But with stress, very few of us have a healthy stress hygiene routine. So spending some time every day, whether you're thinking about a particular issue and doing a full round or just absentmindedly tapping, is going to be sending calming signals and down-regulating stress, balancing your nervous system. So it has all kinds of health benefits. So that's the description of EFT. Now we're going to play with it. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. Now, just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed, go ahead and feel your feet on the floor or whatever part of you is connected to something. Allow yourself to feel that connection. Allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. Allowing yourself to be right here, right now, as present as possible, so as to receive maximum benefit from this time together. And just following your breath to your body. Just notice what's going on in there. Notice where you might feel any discomfort, any stress, resistance. And thinking about journaling, giving yourself permission to think about, just imagining, really letting yourself be open to whatever might flow through your mind, your arm, your fingers, into your pen or pencil, or however, whatever method you use for journaling. And allow yourself to be aware of any resistance, any fear about what might come up. This idea of, if I was totally open to what could come through me, what might I be afraid of? What discoveries might I make? What ideas and insights might I come up with that then I have to do something about? As long as I have no ideas, I don't have to take any action. But if I have some idea about purpose, if it's like, I'm writing and suddenly it's like, here's what I'm here for. Now there's obligations and expectations and responsibility. And so part of me might say, no, I'm not going to journal today.
Yeah.
So looking at that part of you that's trying to protect yourself, and just allow yourself to be aware of anything that might come up, any thoughts, beliefs, or memories about why it might not be totally safe to totally be open to what might come through you. Take a deep breath, open your eyes. And now just tap where I tap and repeat back what I say. Even though I might feel some fear.
Even though I might feel some fear.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I might feel some resistance.
Even though I might feel some resistance.
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I might want to stop myself.
Even though I might want to stop myself.
Because part of me might say.
Part of me might say.
It is not safe to be totally open to ideas.
It is totally open to ideas.
If I just allow myself to write freely,
If I just allow myself to write freely,
there's no telling what might come through.
there's no telling what might come through.
And it might be dangerous.
And it might be dangerous.
And even though I might want to stop myself,
And even though I might want to stop myself,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else who might be involved in these feelings.
And maybe anyone else who might be involved in these feelings.
Because I choose to feel that free.
Because I choose to feel that free.
All this need to stop myself.
All this need to stop myself.
All this need to limit myself.
All this need to limit myself.
All this fear of what might come through me.
All this fear of what might come through me.
All the thoughts and ideas
All these thoughts and ideas
that might be inside.
that might
be inside.
be inside.
And if I allow myself to journal freely,
And if I allow myself to journal freely,
they might come outside.
they might come outside.
And then I have to deal with them.
And then I have to deal with them.
And that might change things in my life.
And that might change things in my life.
And part of me is not okay with that.
And part of me is not okay with that.
I might want some things to be different.
I might want some things to be different.
But I don't want anything to change.
But I don't want anything to change.
Because change feels uncomfortable.
Because change feels uncomfortable.
And so part of me resists that.
And so part of me resists that.
It might stop me from journaling more regularly.
It might stop me from journaling more regularly.
Maybe when I journal, all kinds of great ideas come out.
All kinds of great ideas come out.
And then I have to do something about that.
And then I have to do something about that.
And part of me might say, hey, let's not do that today.
Hey, let's not do that.
Let's play it safe today.
Let's play it safe today.
Not because I'm bad or stupid.
Not because I'm bad or stupid.
Not because I'm weak or lazy.
Not because I'm weak or lazy.
But because part of me craves what's familiar.
But because part of me craves what's familiar.
And part of me resists what creates change.
And part of me resists what creates change.
So while at a conscious level, I hope that journaling will change things.
I hope that journaling will change things.
At an unconscious level,
I
want to keep that from happening. And I choose to love and appreciate those parts of me. That are just trying to protect me. And I'm allowing myself to know. I can handle this. Whatever might come through while I journal. I can handle it. I'm open to the possibility. That I'm ready for it. So I'm clearing these fears. Setting myself free to let it flow. In body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath. Just check in with what's going on, what you feel physically, what you feel emotionally, what thoughts might be going on. And maybe part of you is like, okay, give me that pen now. Or a keyboard or whatever it might be.
For me, it just like that exhale, that audible exhale, that is how my body feels every single time I tap. I mean, I know that that's maybe lucky me, maybe not everyone has that feeling, because like you said, it can also make you more aware of all of these things that you have just been pushing under the rug, so to speak.
Yeah.
but felt good, felt great. So thank you for leading us there. And now we can get into some journaling prompts. So, our first one, which I'll type into the chat, is what is my soul calling me to do right now, even if it feels scary? I'm going to type this. Camera may look shaky from my typing. What is my soul calling me to do right now, even if it feels scary? Okay, so I think maybe we give ourselves 3 minutes on this and then we'll move on to our next one. So 3 minutes to journal it out. We have about 1 minute left on this. All right. It's been about 3 minutes. I'm actually doing well with keeping time this session. Let me set us up for prompt number 2. Where have I been holding back from my true purpose? What would it feel like to let go of that fear? So put prompt number 2 in the chat. Where have I been holding back from my true purpose, and what would it feel like to let go of that fear? We are gonna go for another 3 minutes on that, chat. Have about 1 more minute here. Okay, chat. 2 prompts in. So, we've already journaled on what is my soul calling me to do right now, even if it feels scary. Our last prompt is what have I been holding back from? Where have I been holding back from my true purpose? What would it feel like to let go of that fear? And our third and final prompt before our next tap is what's one step I can take today, no matter how small, to live in alignment with my purpose? Let me put this in the chat. So, what's one step I can take today, no matter how small, to live in alignment with my purpose? That is our third prompt. We're going to go for another 3 minutes. Let's do it. Have about 1 minute left on our last prompt. Okay, that was our last prompt. Let's see, Brad, are you still with us?
I am. Just had my
Amazing.
camera off while I was following those prompts and doing the exercise.
Amazing. How are you feeling?
Good. Although there's all that stuff. It's like, oh, now I got to deal with this.
I thought you were going to say maybe it's like confirmation that you're already there, or just going deeper, or
Well, so that intrinsic, because that's what started with it. It's like, how am I holding myself back? And so I'm writing, am I? I feel like I'm very much on purpose. So it's like, okay, so just writing out, okay, so I don't want to just bypass this and just, sit here and write about confirming myself and defending myself. And it's like, yes, I am already doing everything. What else might be there? And
yeah.
looking at those places where, okay, but what else could I do what else is possible?
Mm.
And not just going, yes, I'm already living life on purpose and I feel so fine and dandy about what I'm doing. It's like, okay, great. No, there's no, that's great. And let's not get complacent.
Yeah.
What else is possible, and where is the resistance, if there is any resistance? And I always try to come from a place of, I say nothing is so good that it can't get better.
Mm.
So I always come from the place of, there may be a part of me resisting things being even better. Maybe it may be this is as good as it gets, and it's awesome. But I'm open to the possibility there might be something even better, something even more amazing, and there might be a part of me holding back. And let's clear that. Let's find out how freaking amazing life can be.
I like that. I wrote that down because possibility, and it's funny, I have on my phone screen, and one of the first journals that I made, in a way, it's not one that I actually designed, and I went to Etsy, and but I asked them for this custom saying on it, and it was live in possibility. And I often close my journaling sessions for myself with, universe, show me how good it can get. So yeah, that really resonates as well.
I've often ended different things that I've written with just consider the possibilities, ...
Mm.
And part of it says, nope, thank you. I'd rather not. I'd rather deal with what I know and what's familiar. And again, not because we're bad or stupid, but we are programmed to stick with what's familiar and maybe let it get a little bit better, but
Yeah.
not blow the top off it.
Imagination can be a blessing, and if we're terrified of how deep it can get, then I guess in some ways a curse. But we're choosing.
It's like the quote from the quote from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure.
Yes. Actually, I know that one. She has many great ones because she is also, from what I understand, she's I don't know if she's a coach, but she's someone who has some really done some great work in that realm.
Yeah, she's written a lot of a number of books based on A Course in Miracles and that kind of thinking.
Very cool. Well, can you take us post-session, post-journaling? Can you take us into another tap to kind of release or integrate some of the things that came up for us?
Yeah. Let's and we'll do sometimes I'd like to do what I call a positive tap. So instead of saying, even though I have this fear or whatever, I'll start with, I choose something. So everybody go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath. And just thinking about what you've journaled in terms of where you might be holding yourself back from living your most amazing purpose? Where you stop yourself from taking that action. So on that third prompt about what's an action you can take. So actually, let's do this. Think about taking that action, feeling what goes on inside your body, really paying attention to what you feel physically and emotionally, and imagine yourself taking that action. And notice on a scale of 0 to 10, how much resistance might come up. How willing do you feel to take that action, maybe even this week? How committed do you feel to taking that action? And if the number's lower than a 10, don't judge yourself. Just go, oh, isn't that interesting? Because this is the thing. Most of the time, we don't ask ourselves. We might come up with an idea and then we let it disappear and we don't question it. And we just go, oh, yeah, well, whatever. But allowing yourself to look at it and say, what might stop me from taking this action? Because this action, who knows what it could lead to? And that's what scares us. It could either lead to disappointment. What if I take action on this and it doesn't turn out the way I want it to? And then I have to deal with the sense of failure and disappointment, which it doesn't have to. Or what if it works out and everything changes? What if my life gets, so much more amazing? And that freaks part of us out. So go ahead and open your eyes and just tap with me, and we'll just play with this. I have no idea where we're going to go with this, but we'll see. I choose to take action.
I choose to take action.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to take these actions.
I choose to take these actions.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to take these actions.
I choose to take these actions.
That part of me might have been thinking about.
A part of me might have been thinking about.
During this journaling.
During this journaling.
Some ideas might have been coming up.
Some ideas might have been coming up.
About actions that I could take.
About actions I could take.
That would move the needle in the right direction.
That would move the needle in the right direction.
And part of me might have resisted that.
And part of me might have resisted that.
And another part of me might say.
And another part of me might say.
Oh, I allowed myself to think of some ideas.
Oh, I allowed myself to think of some ideas.
But I'll be darned if I'm going to actually do them.
But I'll be darned if I actually do them.
And so I choose to take these actions.
And so I choose to take these actions.
And I choose to deeply and completely.
And I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else who might be involved.
And maybe anyone else who might be involved.
Because I choose to feel that free.
Because I choose to feel that free.
I choose to take these actions.
I choose to take these actions.
These actions that I wrote about.
These actions that I wrote about.
That could create more of a purposeful life.
That can create more of a purposeful life.
That could lead me to greater joy and fulfillment.
That could lead me to greater joy and fulfillment.
And maybe I didn't allow myself to come up with ideas.
And maybe I didn't allow myself to come up with any ideas.
So the action that I choose to take.
So the action that I choose to take.
Is following that prompt again.
Is following that prompt again.
Allowing my mind to reconsider.
Allowing my mind to reconsider.
What might be possible for me?
What might be possible for me?
Part of me loves the idea of possibilities.
Part of me loves the idea of possibilities.
Another part of me wants nothing to do with that.
Part of me wants nothing to do with that.
Possibilities seem too vague and uncertain.
Possibilities seem too vague and uncertain.
I like dealing with what's familiar.
I like dealing with what's familiar.
Even if it's not ideal.
Even if it's not ideal.
And I choose to love and appreciate those parts of me.
And I choose to love and appreciate those parts of me.
that might feel that resistance.
that might feel that resistance.
And I'm processing that now.
And I'm processing that now.
And I'm letting it go.
And I'm letting it go.
I can handle these possibilities.
I can handle these possibilities.
I can handle taking these actions.
I can handle taking these actions.
I can handle knowing what these actions might be.
I can handle knowing what these actions might be.
And I can handle taking them.
And I can handle taking them.
And I'm releasing the fear that I couldn't.
And I'm releasing the fear that I couldn't.
Part of me might be afraid.
Part of me might be afraid.
That it will lead to disappointment.
That it will lead to, you cut out.
That it will lead to disappointment.
That it will lead to disappointment.
What if I take this action?
What if I take this action?
And it doesn't work out the way I hoped?
And it doesn't work out the way I hoped.
So what?
So what?
I'll learn something from that.
I'll learn something from that.
There's only two possibilities.
There's only two possibilities.
It works out the way I want it to.
It works out the way I want it to.
Or I figure something out.
Or I figure something else out.
It's like Edison inventing the light. It's like Edison inventing the light bulb.
Like Edison inventing the light bulb.
1,000 tries didn't work.
1,000 tries didn't work.
Each one got him closer.
Each one got him closer.
It wouldn't have if he didn't take action.
It wouldn't have if he didn't take action.
I'm allowing myself to take action.
I'm allowing myself to take action.
And another part of me might say,
And another part of me might say,
even if I could deal with the disappointment.
even if I could deal with the disappointment.
And there are tapping videos to clear disappointment.
And there are tapping videos to clear disappointment.
So I could handle them.
So I could handle them.
But maybe that's not what I'm afraid of.
But maybe that's not what I'm afraid of.
Maybe I'm afraid of getting it right.
Maybe I'm afraid of getting it right.
Because inventing the light bulb
Because inventing the light bulb
shined a lot of light on Edison.
shined a lot of light on Edison.
And part of me might say,
And part of me might say,
no, thank you.
no, thank you.
Even if I could handle the disappointment of taking action.
Even if I could handle the disappointment of taking action.
I couldn't handle it if it succeeded.
I couldn't handle it if it succeeded.
And I'm processing that.
And I'm processing that.
All this fear of it working out.
All this fear of it working out.
All this fear of changing my life.
All this fear of changing my life.
All this fear of finding out.
All this fear of finding out.
How amazing life can actually be.
How amazing life can actually be.
Part of me is afraid I couldn't handle it.
Part of me is afraid I couldn't handle it.
And maybe part of me says,
And maybe part of me says,
if I find out it could be more amazing.
if I find out it could be more amazing.
And I have the power to make it more amazing.
And I have the power to make it more amazing.
What the heck have I been waiting for?
What the heck have I been waiting for?
I will look like an idiot for waiting so long.
I will look like an idiot for waiting so long.
If it could be this much better.
If it could be this much better.
And I had that power all along.
And I had that power all along.
I'm going to have to feel really awful about that.
I'm going to have to feel really awful about that.
And I'm clearing that fear.
And I'm clearing that fear.
Clearing all that fear.
Clearing all that fear.
Clearing it at a cellular level.
Clearing it at a cellular level.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
I haven't taken too long.
I haven't taken too long.
I'm right where I'm meant to be.
I'm right where I'm meant to be.
And I'm setting myself free.
And I'm setting myself free.
To go wherever else might be possible.
To go wherever else might be possible.
And I'm allowing myself to remember.
And I'm allowing myself to remember.
I am a magnificent child of the universe.
I'm a magnificent child of the universe.
Worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
And there is nothing that is too good for me.
And there's nothing that's too good for me.
I choose to find out how good it can be.
I choose to find out how good it can be.
And I'm setting myself free to take those actions
Setting myself free to take those actions
that make things better and better.
to make things better and better.
And that make me better and better.
And make me better and better.
In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. And close your eyes and think again about these actions you can take, and notice hopefully that you feel more excited about that, more willing to do that. And if you have, it's possible that when we're tapping, it's often like peeling the layers of the onion, and we get more awareness of, oh, that's what's going on. So you might be aware of, oh, here's why I might be stopping myself. And you can then go do some more tapping to clear that and really set yourself free to take more actions and see how good it can get.
Yes. And as you say, tap, rinse, repeat. Journal, rinse, repeat as well.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, because journaling is a great way to find out, what, because we'll sit there and go, oh, no, I'm fine. And that process of journaling, letting that stuff go, that stuff come out that's been bottled up and hidden. It's like, finally, now I can share with myself what I've been running from.
Yes.
Not running from because we're bad or stupid or weak or lazy, just old programming about what is safe for us, what we can handle.
Exactly. Well, Brad, this has been so amazing, and your work has, it has just such an incredible effect, and not just on us. I one of the best things that you also say is that it's for all of us. You have like a very collective view of this being a healing practice for the world, for humanity. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for shining and sharing your light with us. And it's been so great having you at the Unwritten Club on the first day of Mental Health Awareness Month.
My pleasure, Jared. Thank you for what you're doing. Thanks for this opportunity to share this work, and thanks to everyone who's willing to give this a try and see what might be possible for you and for the world at large.
Yes, I love it. I love just all of this coming together. It was really beautiful, and I'm super grateful.
Likewise.
Well, guys, see you. Hopefully you'll go over to Tap with Brad. Brad, where else can people connect with you, actually?
So the easiest is my website, tapwithbrad.com, but you can also find me at Tap with Brad, of course, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok,
Everywhere.
but mainly on my website, where I have all the resources and then the videos on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. I'm hoping that folks from the Unwritten Club will go and tap with you as well.
Excellent.
Bye, guys.